Why are game consoles so expensive? It's a question that I had for quite a long time, but I wanted to be clear that game consoles are expensive because of the hardware, which is probably pretty obvious, but anyways, um, the software, and just the games overall. And now these consoles, such as the PS5, the Xbox Series X, Canadian, some Canada, Canadian dollars would be around $600 for a console that you can only live in this atmosphere. When with that $600, you can buy yourself a pretty good gaming laptop or even a desktop computer. Now, this is not to say that the console experience is bad now. You should drop it and get a PC. I actually think the console experience is really good because it's easier to play games on a console, like just going to a store, getting yourself a game, and then playing it on the console. You actually own the game because on PC, that's not the case at all because it's all digital and you can get hacked. But yeah, I don't want to get into that yet. But anyways, the console experience is really protected. Now, Sony and Xbox, they know that the console, they're selling it on a loss. They can sell that for like $1,000, but they're selling it for 600 because they know that once you buy your console, you're stuck in the atmosphere. You're stuck there. You're sure to be stuck forever because you can't get rid of that unless you do a little bit of fidgeting with the hardware, maybe the software too. You do a little bit of fidgeting and try to break out of there. But it's not going to be the same as just having a desktop computer and there you go. You can essentially do whatever you want. But the console experience is no doubtably very good because for a console, $600, and having now the 8th generation of consoles, having it to be 4K 120 FPS besides the Switch, that's not it. Anyways, moving on. Those consoles are really good. That's a really good sell value because a PC for that price, you're gonna be looking at 40, maybe 50 frames per second with maybe 1080p. I'm just saying maybe 1080p. That's probably the top-notch PC that you're gonna be getting for that price. So getting a console for that price is really decent. But remember back in the day how the consoles were only like $200, maybe. But that's of course because the hardware kind of changed. But hey, the consoles now are getting really expensive because what happens when Sony releases maybe a PS5 Pro? The PS5, the original PS5, it was already $600. They made the price go up by about 20. Now it's 650, maybe 680. And then they even gonna release a PS5 Pro at one point. Now is that gonna be $780, $800 for a PS5? At that point, maybe you should just look at a computer part. Maybe a Ryzen Core i5 with a RTX 3060. I don't know, that's a pretty decent computer for $800, and you can play your games that way. But I see where it kind of, the scale just kind of balances out. Because now, do I want to be stuck on a computer where I can't buy my games, can't go to the store, have to buy my games all digital and risk the chance of being hacked? Because yes, there is a lot of viruses that you could potentially get chance on. But if you got yourself a good antivirus and stuff, malware and stuff, protection, you should be fine. As long as you're not going on those sketchy websites that you click the first link and you're like, what the heck is this? Why is there so many pops-ups happening? What is happening? Yeah, as long as you don't do that, I think you should be fine with your decent sized computer. Now on consoles, they have a really good protection of that because you're stuck either in the Sony atmosphere, Nintendo atmosphere, Xbox, and it's kind of locked in. It's like a lock. There's a chain padded locks all over it, probably at least like 10 of them, to make sure that you're not doing anything very bad. So they're gonna keep you locked in. You're stuck in that atmosphere. You can't escape. You're stuck of either buying Xbox games, PlayStation or Nintendo. You're stuck there. You can't get out. It's super hard to get out. You have to break the padlocks. You have to go with your bolt cutter, and you gotta keep going with that. Now, you see, when you buy a game on the Xbox store, you're stuck with that disc. You're stuck with the Xbox disc. And you can't bring it to PC. You can't bring it to any other console. So they know that they got you trapped in the right where they want you to be. They got you trapped there. And a computer is not like that. But that still doesn't explain to the question to me. Why are the consoles so expensive if you can get yourself a fairly decent computer and you can do essentially anything you want. Essentially, you can play any game you want. Of course, you don't have the luxury of getting yourself discs, but do discs even matter anymore? I know, it's kind of sad. They kind of just act like keys to one of the locks. But anyway, do they even matter anymore? And also, when you're stuck, when you really take it into consideration, you're obviously on a loss with these consoles. What if they bring it down more? It would maybe make more people buy these consoles, because $400 for a console back in 2017, 18, maybe even 13, $400 for a console, so $300 US, is pretty expensive, but it's not that bad. And you had access to a PS4, Xbox One, or a Nintendo Switch at that point. And you were stuck inside of their little place. But every time you buy your Nintendo Switch games, Nintendo's a really good example for this. They're getting basically all the cut, because you're getting a Nintendo Switch to essentially play first-party Nintendo games, aren't you? Or am I wrong? Because I tell you, all my physical library of games is all first-party Nintendo Switch games. I don't think I even have one, actually, that's not. Because there's other better ways to play that. But the Nintendo games are strategically... I'm sorry, I don't speak very good English. But anyways, they're very good placed on that Nintendo system. You can't buy it on a computer. You can't do that. You can't do any of that. So you have to get it in your Nintendo system. Nintendo's really good at keeping the price low, so you have a chance to step into the Nintendo atmosphere, and you're stuck. They know that they got you trapped. They got you trapped where they want you to be. And now you're forced to either get yourself some games, Nintendo games, or sell it and get something else. But why would you get it if, you're already going to be selling it all at a loss anyways? And yeah, it's kind of hard to explain how the PS5 and Xbox Series X is kind of getting a little over budget. Maybe $500 is fine for the disc version of those consoles, but anything higher, it's a little high, because when you really think about it, these consoles, they are very good. They're a work of art. They're very powerful, but it doesn't really fit. It doesn't really fit when you can get yourself a computer. You can't ever upgrade these consoles. Get yourself a computer, you can upgrade it down the line. As long as you get yourself a decent motherboard that allows you to upgrade it, maybe a big case, I don't know. But as long as you get something like that, you can upgrade it down the line. Let's just say that your graphics card is kapooey, and you want to get yourself that sweet RTX 6080. And hey, you can do that, because a couple of years down the line, the playing field eventually evens out. The consoles they're going to be worth something. Maybe more Nintendo consoles are basically going to be worth more money, because it's Nintendo, of course. I don't really see the Xbox, PlayStation consoles be past that price, because it's not really nostalgic to most people. It's just a useless brick at that point. What do you think about this? Do you think that the console pricing is perfect? It's right where you want it to be? Do you think it's too expensive? Not that expensive? I don't know. What do you think about this? Let me know in the comment section down below. I really love to know all your opinion and stuff. Your opinions are great. Don't you ever forget that. And yeah, with that being said, hope you have a fantastic day. See you in the next one.